Hi folks, welcome to Transport Fever. This is a new game that's coming out soon. It's the follow-on to Train Fever. I've been given early access, as have a number of streamers and YouTubers, to have a look and show it off, basically. Now, some of this is a learning exercise. I've played with it a bit now, and I'm starting to get some success. So I thought now was a time to actually record a video. So I'm going to do a free game, and we'll just play a free world and see how we get on. I'm going to do a medium-sized map. Put a bit of bumpiness in it, makes things a little bit more interesting. Start at 1950 because that's kind of where I'm getting used to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start practicing with other areas and look at the ways that different transport affects and the different ways you make things. And I'm going to start on easy because it gives us lots of money and we can look at different things. Here we go. Let's get in the game. Okay, here we go. Right, this is the world. Let's zoom out, pan down. It's quite substantial. This is just the medium world. There's other ones that have got more to them. So I'm going to start off by looking at some freight. How are we going to get stuff moving around? Now, one of the things that I struggled with was trying to work out, well, how do I know what it's going to do? How do I tell it what to do? And really, it turns out it's just micromanaging it, and really you don't have to micromanage. As long as you've got traffic going to and from places, it kind of works out where the loads go automatically, which is interesting. It takes some getting used to. So I'm just having a look around. We've got something here which is producing iron ore, and I've got another one here producing iron ore as well. So we've got two iron ore there. Got a coal mine here. So you kind of want to start the map thinking of seeing just getting the lay of the land, literally. Got a farm. Obviously you can tell where your farms are quite easily just by looking around. Got another farm. Two farms here. One here. Three. And these are three quite close. So one option is to start looking at food and where that would be. There's no more farms in the top left. And no more in the bottom left. So we've got three farms over here in the top right. So we could get some serious farming going on if we can find where we need to process the food. There it is. There's a place to process food there. So I'm going to start off with road transport and get going. And then what we'll do is we'll start looking at adding rail and other stuff as we get going. Well, I don't know whether we'll get that far in this video. Let's see how we do. So I want to start off by actually let's go to the farms. So the first farm, the closest one, is going to be this one. So we'll start off. Just looking, actually the road doesn't go that way, it goes all the way to the right and up. So even though it's close, what we really need to do is get a road in that's going to work in our favour. That road, or that field, there's a big hill there, that's not going to help at all. So actually that farm here, if we built a road going south, let's see if we can do that without damaging the farm too much. So I'm going to build slightly bigger, better roads than I have been in the past. One of the things I really like about the game is that just the level of detail in the graphics. There's some really nice detail. So look at the trees over here. Just the general scenes, they look really quite nice. And there's physical based, what they call physical based rendering being done as well. It's difficult to see. I'll show it when I see it more clearly, but it really makes the textures look so much more realistic. It's a really cool technique. So this is where we wanted to move our farm produce. Our road had to go through Heartland, but I want to try and shortcut that and have it come down this way. I might better bring it round that way, actually. Let's have a look at the incline. Now, in the bottom right corner here, you've actually got a bunch of things that you can highlight. So this one tells you what things are. So if we go over here, you can see you've got yellow is industrial, blue is commercial, and green is residential. So you supply materials into these towns to make them grow if you supply the right things that they're looking for. So I just come out of road, for example, and click on this commercial building. Commercial buildings are needing tools, food, and goods. So if I click on any of them, it's about the same. If I go to an industrial, they want construction materials, machines, and fuel. So that gives us an idea. So if we were to put construction materials and machines into this area and somewhere around here start putting in the materials these days, then the city's going to start growing, which is pretty neat. So I want to start building my road here, and come across here. It's pretty painful, pretty painless so far. We started off with 30 million because I went for easy mode. Obviously, if you don't go for easy mode, life gets a little more interesting. It wants to go that way. Kind of don't want it to. Oh, that's because of the gradient of the hill that's going on there, I think. Not do that for a minute. Let me see what's going on here. Make it work the way I want it to work. 50k. That's better. Behaving itself properly now. So our farm, or our processing place for the food, is here. Oops, no, put that on there, and let's put that, join that road up there. Right, so we've now got a nice quick access to that farm. So let's go ahead and get something moving on it then. So I come out of road mode and go into this one. The second icon here for road vehicles. You've got rail transport, so you've got stations and things. You've got road transport, which is trams, buses, lorries. So this is all the passenger stuff. If you click over onto this icon, you get the freight stuff. So you've got a large station, which means it can hold, it's got 4 terminals, so it can hold more stuff. Ships, that's new I think in this one, so we can put we've got somewhere we can potentially, so if you were to put it there for example, then ships can dock with that. So yeah, that's that one. And then you've got aircraft, so you can place runways down and have and set planes up going between them, which is very cool. So we are going to go here and put M and N keys to spin it around. You notice when I connect it up, you see it goes white. That's telling you what its sort of sphere of influence is, if you like. And as long as it's highlighting it, it'll automatically transfer the goods. So these are really important. These little stations, because if this now has something, it will go to here, and if this has something that this wants, it will just get there. You don't have to set a truck up to do that. These two are now linked because when I did that, you see that highlighted, so those are linked. So if I deliver stuff to here, it will be used by this. They are considered close enough, and I have to do the same thing over here because this is going to be producing farming materials. So let us put another one in here and link. Actually, around here would probably be better. No, up here. That'll do. Alright, so if we click that, it highlighted the farm, so that's good. Right, so even though you put that in there, nothing's going to happen because that's not connected to anything, there's no lines, and it's the lines on the route that actually start creating supply, is where you get your supply and demand. This has no idea what wants it, so it doesn't get anything to transfer. When you put the line in there, which we'll do now, we put which is essentially to put a truck there and run backwards and forwards, then it will know what the demand is and stuff will start appearing in this truck station, and then it will get carried to here. This will then consume it and start producing bread, and then we can start taking the bread over here up to those. So green ones, these guys want food. In fact, the commercial ones, these guys wanted food as well. So we can start delivering food in. As soon as we've got this supply chain working, we can get another one actually hooked over to Medler with Wesham and to Eccleshall quite easily. So that's good. Right, okay, let us create a depot. So I'm going to put it on the main drag over here because that will allow it to be more easily reused. So this one in the right here is the depot. So we'll create a truck depot. And then we'll click that truck and say buy road vehicles. So the biggest thing we can buy at the moment is an Opel Blitz, and with 29 million in the bank, we're going to buy the biggest thing we can. So let's close those two windows down. It's like a lot of these types of games, you get lots of windows, so you can keep an eye on little pockets of what's going on, which is quite nice. Now, we need to start off by creating a line, which is this one. So that's set line. This will instruct the vehicle to go back to the depot. It's obviously already in the depot. And then, I can't remember what the other ones do actually, but let's get a line. You click that and click new line, and then we've got another window. And we want to start by clicking on there. So you'll need automatically, it's already started driving. So that's already going. And we want it to then go to here. And that is the route. And you can see the precise route it's going to take. And you should double check to make sure, is that the way that I want it to do it? Because it's auto-calculated that. And if it's not going the way you want it to do it, maybe you need to add a road or delete a road or put some sort of other help in there that would get it the way you want it to go. But in the meantime, we've got our first truck running, and that looks good. So I'm going to shut the line down. But let's just leave that truck window running in the top right corner and keep an eye on it. One of the other things you can do is I can click on this and click that, and you get a first-person view, which is really neat. It's a different perspective. It gets you down low, which I like. This game really produces really nice visuals, and it's nice to see them at the right level rather than constantly looking down on them. So if we press escape, come out of that. Right, so the next thing we need to think about is this going to start producing bread, but I don't need to worry about that too much just yet. Let's start thinking about maybe we could get some more stuff coming in. Just looking at, we've got another farm here. See, obviously the truck is slow and it's going to cost us money. Now, I was talking about these, weren't I? So this one is the coloration. So you've got the coloration telling you what's going on where. This one is your terrain contours. So you can see when you're going to be going over sort of grades that you need to deal with tunnels and bridges and things, and try and avoid them by staying inside the same contour lines. And then this one is your navigable waters. So you can only set boats and things to obviously travel along navigable waters, and if you look here you can see that that bridge is sufficiently low that that's actually broken it. There is no way I can get a boat between them. If I wanted to do that now, I'd have to destroy that bridge and build a new one that's further up so that it then works, and then you'd see the green line continue. But we'll worry about boats another time. Where's this truck? While that's working, if we look at the info box here on the bottom left, we've got the vehicle list, so we can see what its current balance is, what its current load is, and what line it's currently executing. We can switch to all the stations and what they're doing. Have they got cargo waiting? In fact, you can see here now we have cargo waiting. If we click on there, it's got 2 livestock and 2 grain waiting for a line 1 pickup. So that's what this truck is going to pick up in a minute. Look at the lines. So how many vehicles run this line? So it can have multiple vehicles running the same line. We've got some more down here now. How much cargo is being shipped? What's the total amount of cargo that can be shipped on this line? So if I had 2 trucks that are the same as this one, then I'd have a 0/22 at the moment, for example. Frequency, the income, and how old the line is. My depots, so I can see where they are. Industries, towns, and how big, so you can see what's going on in terms of which ones are growing. And then industries, this is quite useful, so you can see what the requirements are, what the deliveries are. Let's watch this truck. You'll see a lot of that disappear in a minute with any luck. There you go. So he's now got 4 livestock. I think they can only carry one thing of one type at a time. So what we might need to do now is actually get more, at least another truck or 2 running this line, because we're producing quite a lot already. But moving along, we've got stone and slag creating the construction material, which, if you remember right, I think the industrial was looking for. So that's someone that will create that. We just need to stone as a raw material, and slag comes out of something else. If we look down the list, we can see that slag comes out of the steel mill here. So if we give it iron ore and we give it coal, then it will give us steel and slag. So that's kind of, you have to create this complex chain. Yeah, you're making things at multiple tiers, and eventually, if I bring this up, eventually you start making end goods. So like the steel, you would ship to make machines and tools here. You can see you need planks, steel and plastic creates machines and tools. And machines and tools are then things that industry wants. So that's a consumable item, whereas these are the intermediary steps that are used in the middle. So you start off with things like iron ore and you end up with things like machines, and it's up to you to get the materials between the places to actually effect those. And there's bigger rewards once you get further down the chain. The rewards for actually completing the bigger ones, you start earning more for them. So this is just a one stop that gets us the food. That's going to earn one amount. Getting the food over to the village is going to earn slightly more, I think. So let me get another vehicle, and I'm just going to set that to line 1. And now I've got 2 vehicles on line 1, so I haven't had to define another route. What I can do is if I go into this lines view, you can see we've now got vehicles too, and it's given me cargo 0 of 11 and 4 of 11 because I've now got the capacity to have something else. And it's wood, but it will change as soon as it goes into the vehicles auto detect and pick something up. You can force them to be a specific thing as well, but in automatic mode, then as soon as it gets there, it'll work out what do I want to pick, and it'll haul that. So what supply and demand is the supply and demand is all calculated kind of automatically. I've not told it what to ship between here. Now it's kind of obvious because that's what there is, but in actual fact the game's it's a bit cleverer than that in some ways, but it also gets quite confusing because later on you'll see these stations potentially being used for things and you're like, well, hang on a minute, how did construction materials end up at this depot? And it's because it's on top of what you're seeing here. There's like another meta layer on top, which is how it routes cargo between the things, and you don't actually control that. It's all automatic. All you're doing is saying put a truck between here and here, put a train between here and here, and then it will work out what actually happens. And another way of looking at it is treat cargo like passengers. So a passenger, you or I don't have any problem understanding that a passenger will work out how I want to get from one place to another. Thinking of a box of cargo or of frozen livestock doing the same thing feels a bit more odd, but that's basically what's happening. Right, so we've got another truck coming on here. Meanwhile over here we've now got 8 livestock and 12 grain. So if it picks up grain, then it's going to be full up because it only has a max capacity of 11. But what it means now is that these trucks should now be running to full capacity every time they run. Now it's not great because this is quite a long journey, but we've spent very little putting this in place, whereas trains get very expensive very quickly, as you'll see when we get to doing them. So I've usually found that starting with trucks is a bit slow, but it's a stable place to begin. Let's wait for this truck to appear down here. Now what I can do is down here you've got the speeds, and if you press the tab key or just tap them, you can speed things up. So here we're at maximum speed now. Let's just slow it down. We'll see what happens down here. Now when I click on the industry here, it says what's its production. Under details, what's the potential? So what can it call upon? And that's the things it's now got access to. So you can see we just made 30 grand there. So it's now got 3 livestock stored, and it's now processing them. So you can see that number's going down and the amount of food is now going up. So food is now getting procreated and it's being stored. So look in the overview, the production is now up and the factory's now working. However, once the stored amount goes down, that's it. It's now going to say this production number is going to go back down to 0 again. So there you go. We've made our first 4 bits of food. Let's speed it back up again. Wow, what did the truck end up picking up here? Slow the game down so I can catch up with it. There he is. He has got 11 livestock. Get the feeling you're never going to keep up, don't you? But that's fine. We make 30 grand. If we have a look at the line, the overall profit is in the positive at the moment, and the overall profit is in the positive at the moment. So that's going to go down as every kilometre they drive. There's a cost, a running cost. So we'll see that go down again. But we'll start. Each of these is now contributing to the profit and loss on this account. So let's push that up so we can get them moving. But now we've actually got some bread in here, we can think about how we can start putting that bread into this town, and then maybe we'll just get a passenger service running up and down here just to show how we can do that. So I've got nothing waiting. Why is there nothing waiting? So I've got bread stored. When you ask yourself, well, why isn't it sitting there waiting to be picked up? And it's because nothing's asking for it. So it's just going to sit there until something asks for it. So let's put in a... so what needs the bread? That was the Conservative. Oh, we've just had the Lockheed Super Constellation's just become available. We're not going to be touching airplanes, not for a while. So let's put another depot, a truck station. And when we push in here, you can see what they colour, and you can see the different things get colour. So I'm going to switch over to this highlight. Now it was the blue ones that needed food. So we want to try and find somewhere that actually gets us some blue ones as being the most sort of valuable intake for that commodity. And what you can do is, if you see where I've got there's 3 of them now been highlighted yellow, and those ones will be removed if I put it here. But look how much of the town is enabled when I do that. All of that blue block gets enabled. So I'm going to do that. That's going to cost me more because I'm knocking buildings down. Here, this is not very much to put this in. It's 12k, but to knock these 3 buildings down, obviously you've got to purchase the properties and so forth, so it's going to cost more. However, it's such a more beneficial place to put it that I'm going to go ahead and do that. Sorry anyone who was living there. I know, hashtag mean Matt. So let me just put the speed back down onto normal again. It's very easy to leave it running high speed. Notice our income is now up to 68, 71, so it's looking good. This line is now a profitable line. However, it won't stay profitable forever, because what's happening is that down here we've got 15 in there. At some point it's not going to have room to store any more, and at that point it stops demanding the grain and livestock. Once it stops demanding the grain and livestock, then none of the trucks won't pick anything up from here. They'll just sit idle. They've got nothing to do. So if you're not careful, you end up with you have to manage your whole life cycle and get it all the way through to being consumed. Once they get consumed, then they're effectively gone. So you aren't going to keep building things up. So that's the trick. So if I come to here and we buy another Opal Blitz, let's shut that down, and then I'm going to create a new line. And this time I'm going to go from here, because this is where the bread will be, and then to here, because this is where I want to put the bread. That's the route it's going to take. Fair enough. And that's it. It's already started on its journey. It's this one here. And away we go. Now, what you can also do, if I bring up the lines, so line 2 has this vehicle on it. So we can open that, and I left it too late to do it. You can change the colour of the vehicles. So we'll do that. And what I recommend you do is you actually set the colour of the vehicle to that of the line, because what happens, it's like now you've got this truck coming up here, you've got this truck coming up here, and the question is, which one's doing what? When you click on the truck, obviously you can see that's a line 2 truck and that's a line 1 truck, which is this one up here. So, but yeah, by changing the colour of the truck, you can more quickly see what's going on, which just helps with your own organisation. So now we've got a truck actually coming down here. What I'm hoping is that at some point, the 26 bread we've got in here will start making its way to here. But what I've found sometimes is that you need to wait until you've done one complete loop, essentially. Once it's actually done it once, then it starts filling it up. So line 1 is currently running at a positive of 157. Line 2 hasn't done anything yet. That's fine. It's only a month old, and we're at about minus 4k, minus 3.5k. So let's see how that does. Let's push this time forward again. So he hasn't really got anything to pick up. Now immediately bread has started appearing. So it started offloading the bread out of the storage here, has started appearing here. Now that it's triggered, that it knows that this is a valid route, the resources have started appearing. It's a shame it's after it started a long journey going the wrong way, but never mind. That's just something you need to get used to. But you can see things are going okay. Let's have a look here. So the amount of food we've got in here is going down, which is good. And we just need to make sure we keep supplying it with things. So we're not got any grain potential at the moment. I think that... How is the farm doing? It's got tons. There's loads of it up here being stored. So we just need the truck to actually ship it. But we're shipping lots and lots of livestock at the moment and not actually shipping anything else. So we've got 16 food over in this in here now. This is actually now on its way back, having done the journey once, so it's gone round here. And then we should see it pick that up. So that's the simplest of the chains, is the food to bread and then dropping it off. That really is the simplest of the chains. We've got other things. So for example, we've got something here which will process logs into planks. Now we need planks as one of our towards the end of the life cycle. Actually, if I switch to this view, you can see that planks actually are making final products, goods or machines and tools. So planks, so you need logs, so we need to find a forest somewhere that's offering up logs. So there's one here, and get that into the processing over here. Right, I'm just going to put the time back on play again so that it's not running away quite so much. Let's have a quick look at this view and see how we're doing. We're fully loaded with bread, heading back into the town. Eccles Hall is on its way. It's getting its first load of food, and here we go. We've got the truck on its way in. That's good to know. Now, what have we got down here? Is this? That's iron ore. Got oil up there. That's another farm. That's another processing. So I could get another a duplicate of that going between these two. In fact, that's even closer. In fact, both of these two can feed that. So let's get that done, show that working, because that's another easy one. What you want to do is you really want to get yourself a nice, solid, stable income. Notice it goes white. It means you've got it in the right place. If you do it over here, it doesn't go white. It's not going to work. That needs to go white to be able to trigger it. So that's one. And then we'll do another one. Yeah, when you start getting to more adventurous, it's not triggering it, so I'm going to need to... Over here it works. Doesn't matter. It doesn't even need to be geographically similar. As long as the target industry lights up, that's going to work. Yeah, as you start getting to expand, and especially when you want to get into railways and things, you're going to really want to get yourself a solid, stable base to start with. Otherwise, it's just going to be fraught with trouble. Something which starts out being this is typical, isn't it? Is that going to work? It is. There you go. So you can go a little way out before it is no longer there. You can go about there. That's it. And airplanes, boats, they all get very, very expensive. So you really need to think about that. Okay, so let me put another depot in there. And then we're going to buy a couple of trucks. In fact, we'll buy 3 trucks. So we need 3. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 3 trucks in the depot at the moment. Let's close that. We'll need that open because we need to select which one. So road vehicle 4 is going to have a new line. And road vehicle 4 will go there to the mill, whatever it is. Food making place. That one to there. So he's now going. I'm not going to duplicate that one right now unless we need more. That's 4, so that's gone out of the depot now. So double click that 5, and I can have a look at that. Let's set him up a new line. Now he is going to go to there, back to. Whoops. Move that. There we go. So that's going to Beckle South line. That's line 3. That's line 4. And then road vehicle 6, I'm going to leave in the depot for the time being because it's not got anything to do. Road vehicle 6 will be the one that takes food from here and delivers it into Beccles. So I need to put something in here for delivering, but I'll do that in a little while. So looking at our profit and loss here, line 1 is still maintaining around 125k positive, line 2 is around 53 positive, so we're getting about 170 plus now, which is it's a good positive income. These two are not doing anything, that's because they've only just started. Got to get out of habit of panicking about the initial losses. That's where the stable income comes in, because if you're stable and positive, then losses aren't a problem. But if you're flaking out with massive debt and overexpansion, then that can be a big problem. Towns will automatically expand themselves just by being fed with the appropriate goods. So if we have a look over at Eccleshall, see how it's doing. When you come back and look at these places, you'll see that they start growing and getting busier. One thing that's quite interesting is that you can click on items, and then you can click on the camera. And this is the so I'm not in the black car, I'm in the car with the camera on it, so I can see and I can follow him, which is quite cool. And the same is true with the people, although it's slightly more dizzying because their heads are moving. And this guy seems to be walking into everybody. I think he's got a real chip on his shoulder. So why can you click on people? You can get the details up. Where do they come from? Where are they going? What are they doing? Go to destination home. You can click on it and you can actually say, well, where is this person's home? So you can see that where they are, and you can learn more about the citizens that you are trying to create a transit network for. Now, this isn't like City Skylines or something like that. You are not actually creating the towns. You are managing the traffic and not the traffic even. You're managing transiting goods around and people around to actually, and then they will grow the cities all on their own. Now, down here, how are we doing? Have we got anything down here yet? Not yet. I guess we're waiting for our first deliveries still. Let's just speed up time. So we've got our first goods appearing over here. So our truck's got something. And then this one has got something. Got to remember the first time round, of course, they're just establishing the line, so nothing actually happens, which is slightly frustrating when you're desperately trying to get things going. Especially you put a big, expensive, multi-million dollar rail network in and watch it doing nothing for a little while. It's it gives you an interesting feeling. Did I do the right thing? Is it working? We've got a new Mercedes-Benz bus. I think we should possibly use the bus, actually. I think I'd quite like to get a road network in. Get a passenger transit network in. So let's take it back to normal speed. I can use my same depot to create the bus. But before I do that, let's get a bus depot in. So bus depot, let's switch to that and switch to the passenger one. And we'll do a bus and tram station. So again, I want to try and highlight as much as possible to make it get in as much of a catchment area as I can. So that's not bad. If I go that way, that looks good. It's expensive because I've got to knock out 2 buildings, but it does highlight just about everybody, most of the buildings now. So that's got 1 bus station. And then Medlar with Wesham. Again, if we go here, that's going to highlight most things. That highlights more, I think. The highlights around there. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Right, so we've got 2 bus stations. Let's create a bus. Buy a bus. Create a bus route. Buy that. And set up a line. So we're going to go from that bus station to that bus station. There we go. Let's set the bus line up. Same rules. I mean, passengers freight, it's all pretty much the same thing. It's going to have to go there once, I think, before it'll actually start doing anything. But what you'll start seeing is passengers actually walking on the path and standing at the bus stops, which is it just looks really good. Everything, it sort of feels like, you know, there's a story, people are doing things. So there's our bus. Oh, that's one of my trucks. Being held up by the locals. That's fine. Right, so line 3 has just started turning a profit on its first load, which is good. Line 4 hopefully is about to make a deposit, which hopefully means that this is now producing food. The line 4 has immediately started turning a loss again, so sorry, line 3 and line 4. So yeah, line 4 is now making money. We've deposited some more items into here. By the time they go back, they'll actually have more than 2 or 3 items. So they'll actually, but they should be able to bring a full truckload this time, which will make them considerably more profitable. Not quite yet, but they will be. But that means now that I have got food in production. So let's get the other bus, road vehicle 6, underway. Now we need to find the right place to put it. Food is blue, if I remember rightly. Yep. So I want to capture as much blue as I can when I put that in. Cuts down that many buildings. That's not too bad, that covers a lot of it. What I don't really want to do is get rid of the blue buildings, of course. Okay, we'll do that. It's not the most financially best place to put it, but I think it'll pay off in the long run because it's connected to the most things. It also costs more because of the ground. I mentioned the PBR stuff before. If you look at how that reacts to the light and so forth, it looks really good. That is a technique called PBR that just makes materials look like the real ones. This doesn't look quite so good, but I know it's because of the highlight, just washed it out. Right, okay, so now, Beccles Road Depot, Road Vehicle 6, let's call that up by double clicking on it, create a new line, and this will take us the food to there. So that's now going to get going. So that's going. We're going to leave that to its own behaviours, its own devices for the time being. So now we've established this route, isn't anyone going to start using it? Turn that off. The bus has just left there. Maybe it needs to get to the other bus stop to actually start creating to establish the route. With these passenger things, they take a bit of they build up. They don't just immediately. People don't just start immediately flocking to them. So, and sometimes bus routes just don't always work. So you have to think about that. Really manage your risk, just as you would in real life. Let's have a look what's going on down here. We've got product there. It hasn't actually established the route yet. I guess that's what you're doing. Yep, line 6 is now establishing the route. So if we look down here, in a moment it should start being filled with food just as the truck leaves. hopefully. Watch pot never boils is probably the situation. Here we go. Look, food has just started appearing in there. So when he comes back, there'll be hopefully a truckload of food waiting for him. How much have we actually got now in here? So we've got 6. So we're just waiting for those trucks to come back with lots of materials from the farms. This one's is he a fully loaded one now? Yeah, we can see these 11 out of 22. So one of the trucks is running empty at the moment. We've got these 2 running full. That one's running empty, presumably back, and our boss is currently running at 0. So that first one is only running at 209 profit. That's 129. It's just unloaded, so that will go down as that incurs running costs. So look, is there anything appearing? Anyone appearing at the bus station? No. Anyone appearing down here? No. Right, well, you miserable bunch of so-and-sos. Murfield. All the big red flying things is like, all of your vehicles costing money. But overall, if you look at it, we're in the positive. Overall, this is in the positive. We're gaining money, which is a strong place to be. Not gaining a lot of money, but look, we've got a lot of food sitting here now. 34. Now that potentially causes us a problem, because what's going to happen is that this is going to be less inclined to create food if this has got a certain abundance in it. If this, as I said earlier, if this stops creating food, it stops demanding all the raw materials, which means all the infrastructure you've built up stops working, and you start seeing all these numbers go down and turn red and do all sorts of nasty things. There's my bus. My bus is there. Good. Oh, look, we've got someone waiting at the bus station. Look, someone waiting at the bus station. Hello. Thank you for using our bus. There you go. Put it round the right way. Right. So, next sequence then is I can get ore, not the factories, ore and coal get me the steel and the slag. That's probably a good thing to start off with. I need to find one of those. I also need to get the wood flowing in through these as well. What ones have I got of those? Doncaster sawmill. Another one down here. I'm trying to find one that's relatively close by where it needs to start, just to make life a bit easier, really. There's one there. So that could ship wood over to there and start making planks. So we can get that going. Like I said, I generally start the game with trucks because they allow me to create a fundamentally sound economy without massive risk. And then I can start upgrading everything. Once I've sort of got the supply chains in, I can start upgrading them too. Work out which bits are the pinch points that need the extra, and then start upgrading them with express transit. So this is quite far away from my other depots, so I'm going to put another depot in here. Probably put it in the middle. Actually, if I put it here, closer to here, it'll kick it off faster. That's trains. Don't want trains. Depot. There it is. So if I put him in there, it doesn't matter where it is, to be honest. It's just that's where you're going to start by that vehicle. So I'm going to make that, and then I'm going to set him on a line between those two. From there to there. So that's that vehicle on its way. Now you can change any of that stuff as well. I've not really done any of that, but if we bring up line 7, I can say that this is logs. Line 7 logs to planks. Line 6 highlighted pink. There you go. That's food to Beckles. If I could type, I would be dangerous. Right, that's food to Beckles. Let's have another look at what other lines we've got here. Line 5 is the bus line, so it's Eccleshall to Medlar. Eccleshall to Medlar. That didn't take. Try that again. Better. Edmed. Line 4. That is farm. So that's what. Where are we here? What town names have gone? That wasn't what I wanted to happen. It's very easy to accidentally blow stuff away, I found. There's a key you can press and it activates bulldozer mode. And if you don't notice it, trouble happens. So let me... Right, does that mean that all the services that use it are still okay? Because I got it back quickly. Oh dear, oh dear. It's Beckles. Right, all town names have gone. Right, so that is... That's farm to Bakers. And this one is a farm to Bakers as well. That's line 2. Line 2 is one of the first ones. So line 2 is the Bakers to Eccleshall. And line 1 is farm to Bakers. Don't need to know exactly what they are, but it means if I'm looking at them I can just quickly... my OCD is screaming about that one. That's it now, there's consistency. Calm down. So we're still doing okay there. However, that bus line, we've got 2 passengers on the bus line. It would be kind of nice if it would start picking up a bit more, but like I said, passengers do take some time. Look, we've got loads of passengers waiting for here now. I say loads. 8. So as and when the bus arrives, which it is about to do, let's sit and watch it. So we've got those 2 off and we've got a whole bunch on. I've got 8 of them on the bus now. So that bus might actually turn some money this time. And if we come over to here, let's see what we've got starting to arrive at this bus station. So there's a few people here. So there's 8 waiting here now apparently. So that bus service is going to start turning some money, I think, soon. We're going to pull that back. Food to Beckles isn't currently doing anything. Nothing useful for us. We've got 8 in there at the moment. What's your production? Got 13. That is the line 6. So it's picking up all of the food and shipping that to Beckles. And then logs to planks down there. That's not doing anything at the moment. Is he carrying anything at the minute? No, he's not. Let's have a look over here. Have you got logs waiting? Yes, we've got logs waiting. So he's got 12 logs waiting. So the next time round he should actually have stuff. So he's probably on that first long run where you get nothing at all. So that's good. That's going to start making money. That's going to start making money. And the bus is picking up slowly. So those are good. And we're still gaining money as well. So we've got planks being created, although we'll need to actually create demand for those planks. So we've got something that needs planks here, something that will create the plastics, the planks. All I need now is a steel mill. That oil will create the stuff for there. This is a nice little section down here, so if I get oil into that one and get that one down to there and that one up to there, that gets me, and that one into there, that gets me 2 of the 3 components that I need for that. Oh look, Godalming! Hey, that's where Rail Simulator used to be, or where the original Rail Simulator was built. That's where it was born. That's good. That's really good, actually. That's nice. Let's get the plastics. When you turn the camera on, everything starts itching. Right, so let's get this plastics thing going. We'll put, make sure again that when you put it in, it's highlighting, otherwise it's not going to do anything. Put that in there. That in there. And I could just use this bus depot, or this truck depot. Get you by, close the truck depot down, create a new line. This one is line 8, and we are going to oil to fuel, I think. And the line is from there to there. So having got the fuel, I need to get that down to here. Now if we bring the contour markers up, so if I was to come around there, I can probably put a new road in and just optimise its path so it hasn't got to go all the way around there. So let's see if we can't get a new road in. Look, we've got green bits starting to appear down here. Food to Beccles is starting to make some positive. The bus hasn't arrived at its destination. It's still got those 8 people on it at the moment. Now, road. Put that medium. Medium country road's a bit more expensive, but we find as you get better vehicles, you won't have to relay the roads to get them running faster. We have the money to be a little bit forward-thinking, so I'm going to be a bit forward-thinking. No, I want to get down to there. I might as well just join it up to here, actually. The longer stretch you lay, it'll be straight, which can, or it'll be one grade. It can make it quite expensive. You can see how it's trying to climb that whole thing. If you do it in shorter sections, it's cheaper, but then you might have more undulating roads to deal with and the varying speeds that will incur. Alright, so that's got that in there. So I can now get from here, and I can bring something down here. So let's get one of these in here, and we'll get one of them up here. That's lighting everything up that I want it to. Yep. So that lights that up. So I can now bring planks down to here, and I can start, once I've started getting some of this created, so it's got a potential of 58, which means it can be shipped. It's just waiting for it to actually receive some, which it should do. This is the logs going over to the planks. Where's the oil? The oil's down here. There's the truck. Has it got anything? It's got 3, so it's waiting for the refinery to produce some more. The oil well, sorry. So That'll kick that flow off though. So what we now need to do is get planks, which I guess you're creating. Not yet. It hasn't, because there's no demand for it. They've not been done. It also hasn't shipped any to it yet. So what we need to do is get a truck built and tell him he needs to go a new line, and this is line 9. Planks to factory, I guess. Factor. Let's put factory then. Ran out of room there. And set the line up. Oh, actually set the line up. It's planks to factory. So if you click on the line here, I can now add stations, and we'll go from there to there. Right, so that will get me planks coming into here. That's the first of the materials I need to create these. I need something taking plastics up to here as well, so we'll get another truck built. They're not going to do anything at the moment, but it means that the lines will be established for when they are needed. Notice how almost everything is now showing green, so the money's going to start coming up nicely now, which means we're in a good place to be a little bit almost frivolous. So new line, and this is line 10. Plastics to factory. I like leaving the number of the line in because I can still just refer to it mentally as line 9. So that's got plastics coming up here as well. So 2 of the 3 components are now dealt with, which is brilliant. That will create demand on those ones as well. There's 10 that's appeared up there. So it orders them in alphanumerical order rather than numerical order, which is not ideal. Makes it kind of nice if they were if you could order these numerically, or just reorder them manually by clicking and dragging. Right, is that my oil truck? Nope, logs to planks. He's got a full load. So we've got 11 barrels of fuel sitting here. Look, this is all waiting. That's it, nothing there now. So barrels of fuel we've filled up. We're a bit concerned about some of these ones that... oh, actually, that's a brand new line. That's okay. Line 3, farm to bakers. We need to find out kind of what's going on with there. Let's just speed up time to let things establish and happen. That's the planks being delivered to there. So when that gets put into there, stored up there, so that's now creating the logs. He's going to come and get logs once the line's established. Which it isn't yet, which is why he hasn't picked anything up. Right, let's just go back to normal speed. If we click on that, so it wants oil or it wants 2 lots of grain to produce that. That's how that's read, essentially. So I could give it the 2 lots of grain to also produce the plastics. Speed it back up. Have you finished? Yep, planks to factory. So we're now getting planks showing up on here. So that's established itself now. So we've just got to wait for it to create them and then ship them into here. because I don't think he's actually got anything to pick up yet. So we've got one stored plank. He's just running between those two at the moment, just costing me money. Well, that's fine. For the time being it is anyway. Just have a catch up on him and see what he's doing. There we go. So he's logs to planks again. Did he pick anything up this time? Yep, he's got planks. So that's planks that are going to be heading their way over. Let's turn the contours off, we don't need those. So that's planks that are going to be coming in here. So planks are coming in. Plastics will be coming in once the oil side of things has sorted itself out. So it's got lots of potential. It's created that now. So I just need to get it to ship that round. So have I got something running from the refinery? I don't think I have actually. No, I need something that runs. I'm missing a route. I need to bring the oil to the chemical plant. So let's go back to here and buy. This can take oil, so buy that again. It's another one of those. Got loads of these, and we're going to make a new line. This is going to be line 11, which is oil to chemical, which is from there to there. That's it. Got lots of green showing up down here now, so not too worried about spending money because we're making money back reasonably. Put it back on high speed. So we've got lots of barrels of oil now starting to queue up here, which means that every load this truck does is going to be full. Hopefully in a minute this will start seeing oil getting put into it. We've got 29 oil waiting. Got fuel in here as well. So oil is now starting to get stored. So the next time he comes back, there'll be something there for him. This isn't doing anything at the moment because it's still waiting for that oil. How are you doing? There's only one blank there, that's good. Are we making more? So we actually have tools. So what we need to do, can't have tools, we haven't got any, don't know where those tools have come from, we haven't got any metal, we've got to solve the steel problem next. So this makes steel. What have we got closer? So this will use a byproduct and create construction materials, which we need for the city. That creates construction materials. That'll create steel. That is our closest option for creating steel. We need to get, this is our chosen factory. And we've got to get it from there. Well, that's not the end of the world. If we put a bridging road between these two, it won't be the end of the world. Let's get that done. Just going to pull this off the screen for the time being. Let's get a road in. So that road through there isn't too bad. There's a bit of a drop going on there, I think. Let's pull the contours up. Right, so I'm going to come out of here. Out of here. Just join them two up like that. There you go. So that's created a link road between there. So now I can get the steel and the steel at least out of there over to there. But I need to get iron ore and coal into there first. Let me turn that off. Don't need that. So, got coal, more coal. So that's my nearest coal, I think. That's somewhere I can take the slate and the slag. Got 2 lots of iron ore over there. Shame there's nothing nearer. Coal. So I want to get that coal into there. Let's do that. Right, I'm going to take the speed down. So we've got a class V100. Just a German switcher, I think. Has just become available. We're not using trains yet. When we start using trains, you'll see why they're expensive. So, the way that I normally use trains for when I get to them is if you've got stuff going on up here and stuff going on down here, then I would use road down here and road up here and then run a train line between them. Or similarly left-right, for example. But certainly not being flat like this makes the train lines even more expensive, because they're going to have to bury their way through tunnels and things. So we'll really want to get yourself into a very strong financial position before you start worrying about that. Now we're almost back up to 26 million, so the numbers are going up very nicely. Now I need to get between these two. Now I'm not happy with bringing another. I'm going to bring another depot in. I don't want to use the ones we've got from miles and miles away. It'll be ages before they even show up. But I will put it something like that. And then we'll create a vehicle, and we'll buy that, and then we'll close that and that. Add a new line. This is line 12. Coal to steel. Of course, if I actually set the line, we'd be laughing. So let's go and find the line again. There it is. Let me make it go from there to there. It's almost all green now. Plastics, the factory isn't there, but that'll catch up. Well, that'll catch up. That's looking good now. It's looking good. Once we get bigger cars, bigger trucks, then we'll be able to start shipping more, and I can then start adding new trucks and just adding them to the lines. Once you've got whole production chains, you can start adding more, and it'll just start escalating the load that it goes through. How's that bus doing? Fully loaded. That bus is fully loaded. So let's go and have a quick look and see what we've got in the way of waiting people. Should I be putting a second bus on? I think I might have to. How many are waiting? 24. Yeah, let's get a second bus going. Don't like to keep people waiting. It's not good service. And what have we got waiting here? 30. And where's the bus going? So the bus is going to go and pick up. It's not going to pick everybody up, and it hasn't even gone back to here yet. So yeah, there's easily room for another bus in that service. Let's buy that. And all we need to do is put it on line 5. Click that, say line 5, and that's off. So he'll now head left and get on with it. So that'll help boost line 5's profitability even more, which is good. That's going up over time. I just made a bunch of money on that one. Yay, we like making money. Oh look, Plastics to Factory just started making money. So our truck has left there. We now have coal starting to appear here. Got 2. One of the ideas I've had for this is to set up a grid system. In that if you were to put a truck service station at various points around, and then have local ones that hooked up to the different services, and then all you did was you had services or trucks that would go between grid points, then the goods would just naturally flow their way around the most efficient way through your grid system. You wouldn't have to set any of that up. It would probably be a slower way of moving from a particular point to a particular point, but you wouldn't have to actually wire up all the individuals. Rather than ending up with a spider network, which is kind of how this is, of using the existing roads and so forth, you create a bunch of distribution hubs, essentially like the real couriers do. You have out feeders that go out to the individual resources, pull them into your network, and then the network, you've got all the trucks running around, moving stuff around, and then delivering them. So they come into the network, move around the network, and then come off the network onto the other side. And because of the way that the game auto-routes everything, you don't have to only worry about that. The problem, of course, is that you don't know how it's routing things. So if things aren't working quite the way you expect, it's difficult to figure out why. I haven't yet found an overlay which tells me what it's doing and why it's doing it, which is less ideal, but I guess you can live without it. So that's the coal coming into here. So I've got another coal there, slate. So that slate can go into there. That'll need this slag that we produce from here. But what I need is iron ore, which is these two, which are a long way away. This might be where we bring a railway in, actually, because otherwise it's going to be forever getting this stuff around. If I was to put a railway here, trucks that fed into the railway, and then the railway zipped them across, maybe even to here, then they'd feed into the existing network. In fact, let's do that. That's good. That gets us a railway. I want to finish the video in about 15 minutes or so's time, so that would, I think, finish it nicely. So let's, we're on normal speed, so I want to put a railroad track here. We're at 26 million, so again, we're maintaining our money quite nicely. So we have time to splash some cash. Let's put a freight station in. So you've got freight station, which is the through one, and then you've got the terminus, which is a terminus. You can't get through it. So I'm going to use this one, because then I can change that if I want to. Now, see, ordinarily you'd want to be making it link up to that, so but we're going to be a bit clever, because I want to put one freight station down, not two. And I'm going to put it so that it's kind of like I can put it where I want to put it, which is quite neat. That town, Murfield, is just in the way. You know what, I might just have to scale the hill. We have the money. So if I put that in there, I'm going to regret this later, aren't I? Let's start out by connecting the infrastructure up for that. So the first thing we're going to do is, you have to click and drag, not just click. So if I just make a road out here, and we start off by putting a truck station in here. As long as the railroad is highlighting, it's connected to the railroad, which it is. And what that means is, if the railroad wants something and it's in here, it'll just get moved automatically, same the other way round. So all I need to do now is get goods from there to there and from there to there by a road, and then I can set a rail network, the rail train, to move it over to the other side. So let's get the rest of the road hooked up to... there, that's got that road network in. See where it gets expensive? That's better. We weren't careful, that would have cost us nearly $1 million to put that in. It ended up costing us a lot less than that. So we've now got a road network connecting to our railway. Now I can put the truck stations in here. Now that highlights that correctly, except it's the wrong angle. There you go. So that goes in there, and then another one over here. Let me turn that around that way. See, that's not... If I put it there, it's highlighting. There, it's not highlighting, so it wouldn't actually do me any good. Whereas there, it's highlighting it. So that will work. Put that there. So now I need to get trucks going from there to there and from there to there. Before we do that, we've only spent 0.3 million, or we've had lots of money coming in the meantime, which is good. Now we're going to spend some serious cash. Let's get the other side in first, actually. So this is where we're going to be shipping our goods to. And I want to create a railway station which is hooked up to that. So what I'm going to do is get the road in first. Make it nice and close. And then hopefully when I put this in, connects to that. I'm just trying to make sure it does actually connect to the truck stop. So it is lighting some of it up. If I was to put that around like that, actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's put the road in there. Put a train station in there. Okay, I can't get it much closer, so that doesn't work. It's not my fault. Right, so I've got the train stations in. Now I just need to link the tracks up. It shouldn't be too terrible. Oh look, 1.6 million. That's because there's a big bridge there. See, if we let it do its own, it's 100 million. Alright, put that in there. $400k. See, this is where the money goes. Let's pull this bit across. I like to generally do them a bit at a time. Now we're building a tunnel. Okay. The overriding feeling when you're making these is, you better be worth it. Lots of millions because of the bridge. So it reckons we're down to 4.49 to just finish it. You know what? I'm feeling lazy because we're near the end. Boom. So we've now completed our rail network. And it's big and it's expensive. And well, I like big and expensive. So let's come around here. And what we'll do is same as with trains, we do need to put a depot in. So I'm going to put the depot in here. And then we need to hook it up. So when you're hooking up tracks, they can either hook up as a separate second line, or they can actually be made to hook up as a junction. Really, really ask nicely. In this case, you have to really, really ask nicely. It doesn't help that we've got it on such a... This is a through station, actually. I could actually do it the other way round. I can do something despicable. I do apologise. Yep, you knew that's what I was going to do. Probably should have just deleted the depot, shouldn't I? Right. Too much slope. Well, that's not very handy, is it? You know what, this is where the other thing is that everything's expensive in this game, so it's going to cost me 2.25k to delete that, and it cost me $800 to delete that. There's no, if you make a mistake, it's expensive, because you don't just not get the money back, you have to actually fund repairing it, or repairing it as well. It's not too bad money-wise, but still. So, I'm just going to put this depot back here so it's got plenty of room if it needs to do any height adjustments. And we'll put that in there. There you go. Right, we've got the depot in there now. We can fix that. If we come into smooth terrain, we can come in here and smooth this terrain out if we want to. And that's all costing me money. That was 41 grand. Well spent that was, wasn't it? So 37 grand. So we can just, take some of the damage away from the land, but never mind. Right, okay, let's look at making this work. So we've currently got, let's just remind ourselves, we've got 2 lots of iron ore that we want to feed into here. We then want a train that will bring the iron ore back over here. And once it's over here, because there's already a journey from here to here, the iron ore will already get captured in that line's activities. So I might need to add some trucks to make it do that, but that will happen. So I need a truck depot in here. So let's put that in there. And now I want 2 road vehicles. Let's close that. We need that up so that we can get back to our vehicles. And the first one is, I'm just going to leave it like that for the time being, is going to go from here to here. And then 16 is going to go from here to here. So that's going to get all of the those materials. Once I've created demand, they will then start being dragged to here, which will make them available to this. Now I need to create a train. Buy trains. This is where it gets fun. It's what you've all been waiting for. So we've got lots of trains, and we can spend huge amounts of money on a train. So this A35 is 2.4 million. Yeah, bear that in mind. 2.4 million just for the loco. That's 1.4. You've also got an amount that they're going to cost to run. So the journeys it does over a year have to bring in more than 237 grand. When you're thinking about like the Mallard, or the Scotsman, or the Mallard down here. Well, actually Sir Nigel Gresley, I think. That's going to cost me 5 million, and I need to bring in nearly $1 million a year with this journey to be able to justify that. So I'm going to keep it nice and simple. And I think the cheapest thing I can do is, that's 1.9, that's 330. We've got wagons, we've got to pay for wagons as well, and pay for their maintenance. If we look down here, I think it's iron ore we're going to be bringing, so it's 386k, but with a 64k a year running cost. So if we've got a couple of these, 2 or 3 of these cars and a loco, that's quite a hefty running cost. So that means that you need that to be a profitable line. And this is where you put a massive amount of expense into building the railway infrastructure, then a massive amount of expense into buying the vehicles to run on it, and you consistently then have a massive expense to run it. It has the potential to earn big, but it also has the potential to not earn anything and be a potentially big catastrophic loss. So bear that in mind when you're picking stuff. So take this open wagon, iron ore, it's what we want. There's nothing else that will carry iron ore that we could use that might be bigger. No, iron ore is that one. So I'm going to put 4 behind it so that it's got plenty. We probably don't need 4 to start off with. You can always add more later, so you can be conservative and then grow it later on. So that's that. I don't care what's in the depot. This is my train. I want you to go from this train depot, train station, to this train station. Let's have a look at the train doing its thing. As with everything in this game, I think the models are really good. Detailed animations, lovely sounds. Right, just remember on the first pass it's not going to do anything. This line might have been cheaper had I not put overhead wires on it, but never mind. We can also remember we can pop into the first person. We can take our first train journey. Benefit what we could have done is, you know, seeing this, it's all up in the air like that. What we could have done, of course, is come down onto the ground, stayed on the ground, and then come up, and it would have been cheaper without all these bridges everywhere. We could also have done some terraforming, but those are all your options that you can consider. All of them have got their pros and cons. This was not a good example of a first railway to build, but it's an what I wanted to show here was really just how you got it working, how you interfaced it with what's happening here. So we should start seeing. So this truck now, you can start seeing it's got iron ore waiting for it. So this is now ramping its production levels up. And that's going to start taking it, so you should see production levels start coming up on the iron mine. And similarly down here we've got iron starting to appear. Now it wouldn't appear here if it didn't have somewhere to go, so we should see it start being deposited here. And then what will happen is it'll probably get to, if it's got nowhere to go, it'll appear here, and if it's the train's going to pick it up, it will appear here on the platform. Now this train journey is not going to really benefit at all. He's not doing bad, he's doing 90 kilometers an hour. Which is faster than any of the trucks, so it's definitely a faster way of doing it. But it's costing us a lot of money. So if I look up here, line 1, 2 and 3, so line 3 is my train, it's already killed 100 grand. But everything else is making money, so generally speaking, that's not a problem. That could lose money for a while. Just the line 1 is more than covering all my losses. Let's speed time up and just watch, make sure that the flow is working correctly here. You should see some. See, it's appeared on the platform. That's it. More's appeared on the platform. And now we've got more starting to appear here. This is now up to a production of 12. So this is going to start getting faster and faster as we start consuming more of it and moving it to different places. So this is now what, 5. So it's got more picked up. It's going to go and get some more. This is ready to go. So by the time the train gets back, this will have done at least one more load off down here. Go. Plenty more there. Got a new plane, another train. That's it. So by the time the train comes back, we've filled at least 1 or 2 cars. Let's turn this time down to normal. We can see the load disappearing and going into the cars there. So we've got our first cars of iron ore. That's then going to get shipped over here. And they should appear in here. Now we've got coal starting to appear, because it's getting lagged behind. So if I speed up time again. And now it's loaded, obviously. It's having a little bit more of a struggle. It's also a bit of a climb out of there. There's a big drop coming up in a minute, so it will speed up. But we're already starting to see a profit on line 1 and 2, which were the 2 iron ore pickups. And this one should do a reasonable delivery. It won't make a profit yet by any stretch of the imagination, but it'll be picking up. Let's change the time speed and watch the iron ore should appear over here. Or over here, mixed up with the coal. I don't remember. Not quite where it's put it, but it's definitely here. Look, iron ore 14. So it's dropped it off. We now have iron ore. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the line that deals with that. So that is the coal, which is coal to steel. And I'm going to get some more vehicles on that. There's our nearest vehicle place. By road vehicles. Let's get 3 more vehicles running on line 12. Possibly a little over the top, but it's got lines. So line 12 has now got 4 vehicles running on it in total, so it can catch up on some of the debt that's the build-up that's going on here. Over here, meanwhile, we've got a bit building up. Are you creating? It's got plenty, but it's not really shipping it very quickly. Taken quite a while to get that iron ore shipped over to the truck store so that it can get moved up there, but we're getting there. So the trucks are just arriving here now. But you notice that that train has already taken about 140 grand of its debt away. First load gone with the truck. The next one. Off. The next one in. Good. It's catching up on that, and then they'll start dragging the iron ore in as well, which means that over here it's now got potential iron ore of 158, so we've got lots of stuff waiting. We've got the 88, we've got the coal in there, so it's got coal in here, but it can't do anything until it gets that iron ore. Once we get the iron ore, then we'll be in good shape. So that's just brought in 79 as well. So we've got our fleet of 3 trucks now coming down there. It's nice that they're spaced out a little bit. You don't want them all bunched up like they were. But the money is now flowing in generally. Now what I need is for steel to be shipped over here. I have a handy depot. I'll just use this one, I think. Let's take that and buy another one of those. Create a new line. We ship from there all the way to there. And that'll bring the steel over here. And I've got something that can use the slag up here as well, so I could make another lorry that will deliver slag up there. Otherwise what happens is that you take the steel away, leave the slag, and eventually it can't produce anymore, because it's not because it's got no room for steel, but it's trying to produce, it produces both of them as a side as an output. You have to remember that to get rid of all of your outputs. There you go, this has appeared now. What are we doing in terms of materials there? Not bad. So our 2 iron ores, got 2 there and 5, so they're not doing too great at the moment, but I'm hoping that it'll pick up. Production's 20. Got 2 waiting. So the number of wagons we've got there is probably not great. It's only really filling up. Oh, we're filling up 2 and a bit. So maybe we'll get to the point that it's completely filled. and each train load that comes in is going to have dump a load on here, so those trucks will find themselves getting used quite quickly. So we now need to think about the slag, which goes over there. So I need to get a truck to run that. I can use another truck here. I have to go and put some names on these places again. Oh, what we haven't done is put the truck station down. That highlights that. What I will do is, while we're here, let's get another one in here. And since we've got something else that makes coal, let's put another one in here. That's not highlighting it, whereas over here it would. That's better. Make sure it highlights it. Good. So now I've got those in. Let's get you add station. You're going to there. So that'll give it somewhere to take the slag to. I need to get another one. To go from there to there, and another one to go from there to, might as well go straight to there actually, go there to there. Right, so I've just added a ton of new stuff going on. So what that's going to do now is it's going to make sure I've got, so this is now getting fully consumed, fully utilised. So I've got the slag coming out of there going up to there. I've got slate coming from there, or the stone, sorry, going into there, which means I'm now producing the construction materials, I think it is. Yeah. So I'm now producing the construction materials when the materials start applying, and believe that's what industry wants. Yep, construction materials. And once this starts working, because it gets the steel, this is going to give me the machinery which I can provide to industry, and the tools I can provide to commerce. So this has got 63 plastics. It's generated 27 of those. So if you look at its overview, it can take planks and steel and create tools, or you can do 2 planks and a steel, sorry, 2 planks to create a tool, or a steel to create a tool, 2 planks and a steel make a machine, and a plank and a plastic, a steel and a plastic make a machine. So you've got options, and we're kind of delivering as much as we can in there. But at the moment we've got plastic, so at the moment we're making tools using the presumably all the planks that we're putting in, because we're not making steel. So at the moment these are just wooden tools. What we really need to do is to start shipping these out somewhere. So tools is going in here to Godalming. So let's create somewhere we can bring the tools. Doncaster's looking a bit small. Turn that off. Well, actually, no, we do need that on. So most of it is looking good. The new lines haven't done anything yet, but they're also, their loss is very minor. Our train line is now in the green, which is excellent, and it's now shipping 16 out of 24. So the amount of ore that's shipping is going up quite steadily, which is good. So I want to bring tools here. I also want to bring the machinery here. I can also bring, so I've got those, I think I'll bring those over to Doncaster and Cricklade. So I'll just bring the tools down to here. So, and it's blue that wants the tools. What to 16.3 million, so we're doing okay. I think we're about 10 million left, and we've recovered from building the railway. So, I need to build a truck station. Find somewhere I can put it that isn't too devastating, but also gets me everything I want. Like that is actually not terrible. So if I now build a truck, build another truck station somewhere that actually is useful to me at the moment. There. So if I build a truck station that takes these, buys them, and puts them there and there. No, that wasn't quite what I wanted to do. I need to set a line. Just clicking on stuff randomly at this point. That one to that one. So that will now start delivering things into this area. So that will should start consuming these tools that we've got being built. We've got planks in, some more tools being created. We should start seeing steel. Once let's just see how we're doing. Are we producing steel yet? We're not seeing the iron ore yet. What's happening with the iron ore? So we've got loads of iron ore coming actually in at the moment. Is that you? You've got iron ore. So we're about to see lots of stored iron ore hopefully start appearing. Yep, there it goes. It's all appearing over here as it's being consumed. And we've got steel starting to appear. We'll also get the slag starting to appear. Now if you look at the overview, if you can consume the slag, it can produce twice as much steel. Which is why it's good to find a way of dealing with that. So we've got lots more iron ore inbound, and the train will help provide more of that. The train's profit is up to 456k. So remember, that's probably that's taking into account its running costs as well. So that's actually generating, the most profit of the lot, just about. I think we've got the coal to steel. We're generating quite a lot, but that'll calm down, or I might even get rid of some of the stuff. Now we've captured up the backlog on there. It's actually struggling to find anything to pick up now. So we're going to find that that probably could use a truck less. So the slag that's in there will get picked up. The steel will get picked up. So got 21 steel. So what I need to do now, got another 65k there. Good. Is I need to get the steel. I don't think I have a route which is set to take steel across. It certainly doesn't look like it. So I need to create another truck, another route. Use this one. The thing to note is, of course, you're not saying, I want you to go here and pick this up. I want you to go here and pick this up. You are just saying that I want you to go here and pick stuff up, and go there and put stuff down, and it'll work out automatically what it's actually going to do, which is kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It means you're micromanaging less, but also it can do things that, if you're not careful, you're not expecting. So we've got tools waiting for the deliveries down here. What's that bus line doing? 338. That's very profitable. Actually, let's have a look. We need a third bus on there. No, I don't think so. 14 people waiting. That's just left. Oh, yeah, that's not good. We've got 14 people waiting, which is almost a bus load. Yeah, it is very nearly a bus load. And that's before you've left. That's got 19 people waiting, and then that's just left. Yep, we need in on the bus. So this you notice when it started it was 1s and 2s, and now we've got 3 buses. That's how these things grow, and so you need to build up rather than just throwing everything at it and saying, well, I'm going to put 4 buses there, or a train with 100 cars behind it, because you're just going to waste a load of money. Now it is line 5, so I'll just tell it to go to line 5. That's not what I wanted to do. It's line 5 bus that I want to go to. There you go. Right, that's got the bus there, so that's going to improve our performance as well. So hopefully line 3 will do even better. Look, line 12 is up to 538, $500,000 profit. The train is sitting there at 170, so it's ticking over. As long as things are in the green, it's generally a good thing. We've got steel 9, slag 6. If I coloured these trucks, you'd be able to see which ones they were and be able to tell which they were going to pick up. So he's picking up steel. So that's line 4 pink. So he's going... I already did have a line set up to do that. So line 9 is doing exactly the same thing. So I can get rid of line 9. See? If I'd named these, then I wouldn't be making a mess of it. Never mind, we'll leave it there. Hopefully at some point it'll produce so much steel we need a second truck. Still 2 there. He's got 11 iron ore. He's full load still. There's only 6 here though. How are we doing over here for loading iron ore onto the platform? Getting there. Production. 8 sitting there waiting to be picked up. That's good. That means that he's more likely to start getting filled up. And this one's got 6, so that's better. Got some construction materials starting to appear here now. Got steel, quite a lot of steel starting to appear now. Got 6 there. I think we're going to need that second truck at this rate. And let's just check over here what we're doing. Hopefully we'll start seeing some machinery appearing at some point soon. Let's speed up time. What are you doing? It's getting the... You notice it can use 1 or 2 of those, so it's getting the oil and it's producing plastics. Einheitswagen. $90k there. Set the tools for the industry. Let's check our lines. Almost all of them are green now. Much better. We're up to 17.5 million. So we're returning our... We're getting our money back. We're not being completely efficient. There's more we can do. But what we are doing is working. We need to get the construction materials out to Doncaster and Cricklade to start creating the demand for those. But overall... stuff that's going on here is going well. We've got a backlog here, so we could feed more down to here, but we've also got plenty of bread, so we're actually struggling to get the bread out to here. So if we can have a look here, if we have a look at the industry, its supply rating is still 0, so we've got plenty of capacity to send it more by just adding more trucks onto the onto this. So we've got lots of expansion possibility. We can multiply these numbers up and make them do even better than they're currently doing. 400, getting up to 400 grand now on that bus line with the third bus there. We can start expanding the bus network as well. We could bring Cricklade to Open Gates, go from Doncaster to Portishead, maybe start bringing up Godalming into the mix as well. So anyway, that's the first. That's a couple of hours. This was meant to be a 1 hour video, but never mind. We were having too much fun, and we're basically rapidly earning money. We were already up to 19 million, so we're actually earning quite a lot of money now. You can obviously go into here and start repaying your loan, but a 30 million loan is only costing you 300 grand a year, so it's questionable how worth it is, to be honest. There's an element of, I guess, of kudos in saying I've paid off my loan, but 30 million can also help you do an awful lot of expansion and get your Uber rail network in, or at least get a start towards your Uber rail network. We did put the rail network in. We've also looked at intermodal transfer, switching between the road and rail, how you can set that up. Same process applies for passengers. If you were to have a passenger station here, put a bus stop here and a bus stop here, and link them together with a road, then the passengers that want to use the rail network will get a bus to the train station and then take the train, and you can do that on both sides. I did that earlier in one of my other maps just to prove it, and it worked fantastically well, actually. So you can use that to sort of, because otherwise than that, trying to work out, well, where do I put my train station so I capture the most, don't even bother trying. Put the train station where the train station should be, out in the open, so you're not going to have the expenses of track over the demolishing or track over the bad terrain, and then use buses to hook up the service into the bus station, into the town. 20 million, there you go. Rapidly earning money now, in fact. What we got? 174, let's sort by income, other way around, look at the happy picture. So line 3, the train is now up at 800k, so that's our biggest winner. Line 5, 400k, so we've got quite a lot of stuff here earning some really good money. A couple of bits aren't doing much yet, and they've been running a while, so they should be, so that needs to be looked at. I've probably got something wrong there, in that they're not getting the materials they need, or I've not routed them correctly, so they would need to be looked at. But overall, we're very, very healthy, actually. Very good indeed. Alright then, folks, thank you very much for watching. I'm going to try and run some more of this game, and maybe you could do some run a series of videos going through each of the career missions, because they provide a very focused way of looking at very specific parts of the game and solving puzzles about how you do certain things, which is very different to this, where you can just sort of figure it out for yourself how you want to proceed. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to hit like, comment and subscribe. Bye bye.